For years, but we're just getting started.
My name is Lorraine. I just got me a car from Auto Connection. There was no question from the sales staff. They answered all of my questions. They were very helpful. Good credit, no credit, bad credit. It doesn't matter. They're here to help you.
We've got a brand new showroom and 300 cars for only $300 down. Go, Mac Mac.
Don't worry about credit. I own the bank.
Get a suit that fits. Men's Warehouse has suits starting at only $200. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Interactive News, live with me tomorrow at 5.
Hold on to your hats, Hampton Roads. Along with anything else that isn't nailed down, a coastal storm is whipping winds and causing damage.
Here's a live look outside at the conditions. Your News Channel 3 has Team 3 coverage along with forecasts on how long all this is going to last.
Plus, storms elsewhere flattened buildings and nearly wiped an entire town off the map. Still, most people there have a lot to be thankful for.
Right now, you're watching your News Channel 3 with Stacey Davis and Bob Matthews. And from the Triple Doppler Forecast Center, weather with meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch. And sports with Jason Barr. This is your News Channel 3.
All right, even if you stayed inside all day, you know by the whipping winds at your window, it has been very windy in Hampton Roads.
Sure has. Here's a live look outside from our Skycam 3 network. This is on top of our Peninsula newsroom at Oyster Point. Now, we have team coverage of this coastal storm, and we're going to start with meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch, who's tracking the winds in the Triple Doppler Forecast Center. Vanessa, how long is this going to keep up?
Well, Bob, unfortunately, the winds stay in place through Tuesday, although they will gradually settle down until then, but we're still looking forward to some very strong winds, and right now they're strong as well. They've just dropped below the 30-mile-per-hour mark on the eastern shore and in Virginia Beach, but they're up to 30 miles per hour in Elizabeth City. Our strongest wind gusts today recorded in Elizabeth City at 52 miles per hour. As I mentioned, these winds are expected to persist, so therefore we have a high wind warning in effect until 8 o'clock on Monday for the Outer Banks, a coastal flood warning in effect until Tuesday morning for the Outer Banks as well, a high surf advisory for every coastal area, and there's more to talk about. But the good news is it's just a coastal flood watch for Hampton Roads, Eastern Shore, Peninsula areas. That's the good news. But again, these strong winds continue until Tuesday. Let's take a quick live look outside. This is from our driver's section of Suffolk. A little bit deceiving. You don't see this camera shaking, but the winds are incredibly strong, and they will stay that way. Here's your wind forecast taking you through Wednesday. They're steadily out of the east, but as I mentioned, we'll see a steady decline as we move through the day on Tuesday, and finally Wednesday, we'll get a reprieve from these really strong winds. But that high surf advisory remains in effect through then. So again, this storm system is going to stay out over the Atlantic, and we're not going to see these winds settle down for quite some time. But coming up, I will share with you some very bright weather on the horizon. Stacey?
All right, that's good news. Thanks, Vanessa. All right, even though there's no rain with this coastal weather system, it is causing problems for folks on the roads. Your News Channel 3's Blaine Stewart continues our team coverage live at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Blaine?
Well, actually, Stacey, we've since moved back to our Virginia Beach Town Center newsroom. The winds were so strong we couldn't raise our live mast to get that picture out from there. So we're here at Town Center where the breeze is a bit brisk at times and the gusts come in and it's just downright, well, not fun. Forget the hairspray. You can see some of the smaller trees just flapping in the breeze there. An inconvenience for most people, but it can be a pretty rough drive on the roads. Making your way across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel can be a challenge in this windy weather.
It really wasn't that bad. The swells are up pretty high, but
it just depends on who you ask. Glenn Lawson is headed home to Hampton after spending time in New Jersey. He didn't plan on an extended stop at the bridge tunnel, but wind restrictions meant he couldn't cross the bay with this patio furniture in the back of his truck. Fortunately for Glenn, he was able to load his cargo into a van driven by a bridge tunnel police officer who followed him across to the other side. Jimmy Tragle is not so fortunate.
I guess the big debate is whether or not we're going to be able to go that way or have to go back towards Richmond and up to D.C. and take a long way home.
Home is Ocean City, Maryland, but Jimmy cannot get there. Motorcycles, along with campers, buses, and moving vans, are banned from the bridge tunnel right now. He'll have to come up with another way to two-wheel at home. It's been a rough ride already.
And the wind will blow you all over the place. You got to lean into the wind, and if the wind stops, you're leaning, and the next thing you know, you change lanes.
No Sunday picnic, eh?
No, you got to keep on your toes and think about what's going on.
And police at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel tell your News Channel 3 those wind restrictions will be in effect at least through tonight and possibly parts of tomorrow morning as well. So you want to make sure to check with your News Channel 3 to find out when those restrictions have been lifted. We just talked with one lady who passed by. She says, I left Florida for this. Yeah, she may be rethinking that move right about now. We're going to head inside and be smart. Live at the Virginia Beach Town Center newsroom, Blaine Stewart, your News Channel 3.
What a mess. Well, here's a live look at the Virginia Beach oceanfront right now from a boardwalk newsroom down there. Strong gusts caused a little bit of damage down on the oceanfront. There was also blown sand all over the boardwalk as well as our camera lens, as you can see. But as your News Channel 3's Dominique Ben shows us, some people still came out despite all the wind.
Roaring winds, crashing waves, and blasts of sand. It's not the kind of vacation Deborah Sanderson expected.
Sand in the mouth, sand in the hair, sand in the eyes. I'm feeling like I'm being hit with a lot of needles.
Forecasters expect winds to gust up to 55 miles per hour. Winds so strong, knocking things right off the hinges. Beach shops try to anchor down their merchandise in windy conditions, but that doesn't always work. The wind always makes off with something.
Just batten down the hatches, really. Just, try to keep an eye on your merchandise and try not to get blown away when you do have to go outside and chase it down.
And with less people out and about, shops say they are feeling the impact.
We get usually our little more early morning rush, and we haven't really gotten that today. So, yeah, it's definitely affecting what we're going to do today.
But some beachgoers still fought the wind and sand blasts, even continuing their exercise routine.
It's real easy going that way. It's real hard going that way. So I don't go that way.
And that was Dominique Ben reporting. The weather this weekend is pounding the Midwest. Tornadoes have frayed nerves there and shredded entire communities in Kansas and Oklahoma. The worst devastation is in what used to be Greensburg, Kansas. A storm chaser caught the tornado on tape as it formed. And by the time the storm was gone, every single building in Greensburg was damaged or destroyed. Your News Channel 3's Drew Levinson is there, and he continues our team coverage.
If pain has a look, this is it. Etched across the faces of best friends Christy Clark and Georgina Rodriguez.
Yeah, why don't you get over there?
Clark's house in Greensburg, Kansas was literally blown off its foundation.
It's gone. I mean, everything's gone. I mean, I think of things, that I had that can't be replaced, like, pictures and things.
What Clark didn't lose was Rodriguez. She now lives with her. Somehow, someway, that massive tornado that descended from the heavens and left hell in its wake missed Rodriguez's home.
What goes through your mind when you see what happened to your neighbors?
I feel guilty.
Why?
I have so much. She has so little. She has nothing.
In fact, just about everyone here has nothing. No home, no car, hardly any clothing. And many people don't even have insurance. Still, they'll tell you they're lucky to be alive. So the search for life continues here. There's still a glimmer of hope someone survived beneath all the rubble. But driving through what's left of this town, a state trooper admits it's hard to imagine anyone could survive this long.
This is just like walking on graves.
For Christy Clark and Georgina Rodriguez, theirs is a ghost town. But they steadfastly believe it will come back to life, but not for a long time.
When the tears stop, what starts?
What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next?
That's a question being asked over and over here. In Greensburg, Kansas, Drew Levinson, your News Channel 3.
And in Oklahoma, a storm chaser captured these still photos of a tornado spiraling from the sky there. The storm then bared down on the town of Sweetwater, Oklahoma. And once it got on the ground, it destroyed the town's high school and several homes there. About 15 people were waiting out this storm in a shelter at the school, and they told us afterwards the noise was absolutely deafening.
It hit, it was so loud. It was so loud. The kids were all screaming. You couldn't even hear the kids, after it was, as soon as you could see their mouths, and then everything just went black. But you couldn't hear anything.
Amazingly, while many people in the town were hurt, nobody died in this storm, although the damage is estimated in the millions of dollars right now. And your News Channel 3 is going to continue to track storms here in Hampton Roads. These are two separate systems. Meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch will have your exclusive 10-day forecast and how the storm off the coast right now is going to affect us in just minutes. Plus, you can track the winds yourself live by going to WTKR.com and downloading Triple Doppler Weather Warn. The free program lets you see the forecast and track storms in your neighborhood, and it also gives you breaking weather alerts on your computer desktop as soon as they're issued. Well, we're also on top of 2 breaking stories out of your military watch today.
Yeah, 2 U.S. soldiers were shot to death outside an Afghan prison. And breaking information on them is next. Plus, dozens of deaths in Iraq. At least 6 soldiers died in a single attack there. That's next on your News Channel 3 at 6:30.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
What a marvelous night for the action.
Let's go to the play-by-play.
Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no.
Rejected.
Clyde, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men brush-in color gel.
It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Home run. Another win with Just for Men.
Lives need saving. Start with yours. Join the volunteer rescue squads of Virginia Beach.
Your News Channel 3 following a breaking story in Afghanistan. The U.S. military says a man in an Afghan army uniform shot and killed 2 American soldiers today. The 2 were posted as guards outside a top security prison near Kabul. 2 other soldiers, Americans, were also wounded. The gunman was then killed by Afghan troops. U.S. and Afghan authorities say they're trying to determine the motive for that attack. All right, in Iraq, a car bomb exploded Iraq's Ministry of Labor in Baghdad today.
And that blast killed 4 people. It also wounded 8 others. It came just a few hours after a car bomb ripped through a wholesale food market there. The bomb killed at least 30 people in one of the deadliest attacks in the capital in recent days. The attacks came in the midst of an 11-week-old security crackdown by U.S.-led forces that's intended to bring stability to Baghdad.
We have new information on that tragic crash of a Kenya Airways plane. Searchers have now found the wreckage. As family members prayed for their loved ones, local fishermen outside Douala, Cameroon, led searchers to the downed plane this morning. The wreckage is about 6 miles from the capital. The plane went down yesterday with 114 people on board. There is no word yet if there are any survivors. Search teams originally thought the plane crashed about 90 miles from the airport in a heavy forest.
Still ahead, the wind is whipping through Hampton roads, and what you're looking at right there is a live look from our Skycam 3 network. Meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch's 10-day forecast is going to tell us exactly when those winds are going to start to die down.
Plus, the weather forced NASCAR fans to change their plans. We'll see what happened on the second try for the Richmond race coming up on your News Channel 3 at 6:30.
It's never been easier. Anyone can buy a gun in the state of Virginia. No ID, no background checks, and it's perfectly legal. Surprised? Your News Channel 3 uncovers the scary truth. We'll show you just how easy it is. Cash and carry, Monday at 11. Your News Channel 3's Fugitive Finder.
The effort so far has been successful.
Your calls and tips put wanted criminals behind bars. The most wanted fugitives captured. Fugitive Finder, Tuesday on your News Channel 3.
Say cheese. Cheese.
Hey, you two. Long time no see.
How about Uncle Joe? Seems strange not seeing him here. I miss him. I miss his jokes here. Same each year, but I still miss him. Yeah.
How's Aunt Stella doing since Uncle Joe died?
Pretty fair, I'd say. You know, Uncle Joe had one of those Colonial Penn life insurance policies.
That's a relief.
Mm-hmm. Aunt Stella used his insurance money to help pay for the funeral and other bills.
You have life insurance?
I sure do. Honey, it costs as much to bury a woman as it does a man.
Sure. But at my age, I don't think I could afford it.
You just need the right kind. We got insurance from Colonial Penn at an affordable rate. Hard to get? No, you just pick up the phone and call.
She's right. If you're 50 to 85, write down the toll-free number on your screen and call about guaranteed acceptance life insurance from Colonial Penn. Colonial Penn makes it easy. It costs just $7.95 a month per unit, about 25 cents a day. There's no medical exam, no health questions, guaranteed. You can't be turned down. For added peace of mind, Colonial Penn also guarantees your rate will never go up and your benefit will never go down due to age. Since 1994, over 5 million people have called about this affordable coverage. Make sure your family has money to help cover funeral costs, medical bills, credit card balances, or other final expenses. So pick up the phone, call for free information and a free gift. Lines are open now.
Call 1-800-936-3366 to receive free information in the mail. You'll get this handy guide to Social Security absolutely free. Call 1-800-936-3366 or visit our website at colonialpenn.com. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-936-3366. Call now.
Right now, people all over America are being turned on by Cavalier because we're offering unlimited phone service with voicemail, caller ID, and call waiting for a very attractive $24.95 a month. And we're offering the hottest, fastest high-speed internet access for a seductive $14.95 a month. So if you want to start a beautiful relationship, call 866-4CAVTEL and let Cavalier turn you on today.
Triple Doppler radar sees it live and sees it first. Now your forecast.
Well, there's probably no better way to characterize this day than incredibly windy. These were maximum wind gusts across the area today. Along the eastern shore, 39 in Kiptopeke, 39 in Achilles. These numbers incredible. Again, these are the wind gusts. A 31-mile-per-hour gust inland at Wakefield. Newport News received a 39-mile-per-hour gust as well, but the impressive numbers are down in Elizabeth City where they received a 52-mile-per-hour wind gust. Incredibly strong winds all day long, and these winds do not settle down until Wednesday. Very windy weather to start your work week. Let's take a live look outside right now at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. A sandblasted camera lens greets us. And as I mentioned, these winds won't settle down until Wednesday, so we should probably wait to clean it until then because we'll just get this repeated every day until that point in the game. So some very windy weather for the first half of your work week, but there's also lots of sunshine in the 10-day forecast. So it is looking pretty good indeed. I think you will like what you have to see beyond, as I mentioned, the early parts of the work week because these winds persist through Tuesday, so we don't see settled winds until Wednesday. We have a coastal flood warning in effect for the Outer Banks. Water levels are expected to be 5 to 7 feet above normal, and this is going to be especially challenging tonight during high tide, which happens shortly after 12:30. That will be the worst time for any coastal flood warning. There's a coastal flood watch for Hampton Roads. It's supposed to be about 2 to 4 feet above normal during high tide. So again, that will be the worst time. That happens shortly after 12:30 tonight. Now, wind speeds right now have settled down slightly, and that will be the trend for this evening, but they'll pick up a little bit more again tomorrow. 31 miles per hour right now in Hampton, 26 in Newport News. The gusts are even more impressive. As I mentioned, a 52-mile-per-hour wind gust in Elizabeth City today, but right now still gusting at 51 miles per hour in Elizabeth City. So these winds will remain strong through Tuesday. What we'll see, though, is a gradual decline until then, but they'll stay strong. They really will. And these temperatures won't soar either. It's been cool today. It will remain cool. These winds are strong out of the east, not bringing in that wind off the water. So of course we'd expect these temperatures to be a bit cooler. Tomorrow will be at about 60. That means temperatures tomorrow will be about 15 degrees below normal. So some chilly, windy weather. The clouds have really stayed away from us today. They start to make their way a little bit further back inland as that low pressure system turns out over the Atlantic. The reason why it's so windy, we've got a low pressure to our south and east, a very strong area of high pressure to our far north, and those two systems combined are making these winds kick in really strongly from the east here across Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. And one thing to remember is that North Carolina will really see the worst of this, especially with regards to beach erosion. It's expected to be very bad along the Outer Banks because these winds don't settle down until Wednesday. So unfortunately, it's not going to be pretty. 49 tonight, fairly seasonable. Windy, though. Again, just windy. That's about all we have to talk about in this forecast. Windy and cool. You'll start your day off at 52 degrees, but those winds will be kicking early tomorrow morning as well. Incredibly cool because of these strong winds. 65 in Franklin, 61 in Great Bridge. Certainly these numbers are not impressive, but temperatures will climb as we get toward the end of the work week. So that's the good news. As I mentioned, there is some bright weather in this forecast. Temperatures raising into the upper 70s by Friday. The winds finally settle down on Wednesday for good. But as we head into Saturday, chance of afternoon thunderstorms, but getting into the 80s again. So gradual increase, and those winds will gradually settle down.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Vanessa, very much.
Well, the weather rained out last night's NASCAR race in Richmond. So the question, can they get it done today?
Highlights next on your News Channel 3 at 6:30.
Everyone talks about having a different kind of newscast.
Stop watching your news and start interacting with me about the news. The day's hottest stories, then your emails, calls, and instant messages. Interactive news live with me.
Tomorrow at 5.
Your Team 3 professional, the Hague Center for Cosmetic Surgery. Doctors Gilbert and Schnars will help you view yourself in a whole new light. Whether it's facial or skin rejuvenation, breast augmentation, or body contouring, they can give you the look you've always wanted. Experience Hampton Road's only total body scanner, letting you see the new you in virtual reality. Find out why people from all over the world trust in the skill and experience of board-certified Doctors Gilbert and Schnars. The Hague Center for Cosmetic Surgery, now on WTKR.com.
Monster trucks are taking over the beach. Charles Barker Toyota's Monsters on the Beach, May 11th through 13th at the Virginia Beach Oceanfront. The biggest, the baddest, the meanest monster trucks are back for 5 big shows. Gravedigger, Superman, Megasaurus, and more. Racing side by side for ultimate sand domination. Bleacher seating available through all Ticketmaster outlets. Call 491-SUN or visit BeachStreetUSA.com. Charles Barker Toyota's Monsters on the Beach. Presented by Pro Trucks and Pro Bike.
Escape into Kettler. Design your own Kettler world. Luxurious exotic wood, elegant weatherproof wrought iron, uncompromising wicker, maintenance-free resin, and so much more. Find your own space, your own world of Kettler. Visit our 20,000 square foot showroom. Get away from it all in your own Kettler world.
Buy and sell for free on Hampton Road's largest online classified marketplace. Visit WTKR.com's Your 3 for free.
I'm Jason Barr with sports. Jeff Gordon has won 3 poles in a row, trying to win today his 3rd race in a row. The rain postponed Jim Stewart 400 at Richmond International Raceway. Virginia Tech in the infield. Jim Stewart, he won a Crown Royal contest. That's why the race is in his name. Richmond's known for good side-by-side racing, but here, Juan Pablo Montoya and Johnny Sauter race a little too hard. Both cars hit the wall, suffered damage. Leader Kevin Harvick in the pits, but he crashes into David Reagan. Harvick with damage had to settle for a 7th place finish. 30 laps to go now. They're 3 wide. You can't turn that way. Virginia drivers Ward Burton and Chesapeake's Ricky Rudd both hit the wall. A hard hit for Rudd. He finished 37th. He was okay. 20 laps to go. The Hendrick Motorsports domination continues. Jimmy Johnson passing teammate Kyle Busch for the lead. And Johnson goes on to win his 4th race of the season already. Hendrick has won 7 of the 10 races so far this year. Many members of that organization went to Virginia Tech. It's a 1-2-4 finish for Hendrick because that's where Jeff Gordon ended up. Chesterfield's Denny Hamlin was 3rd, and future Virginia Beach Town Center resident Kurt Busch was 5th. Let's move on now to baseball. During the 7th inning of today's Yankees-Mariners game, Roger Clemens appeared from the owner's box at Yankee Stadium. He then said the following over the public address system.
Well, they came and got me out of Texas, and I can tell you it's a privilege to be back. I'll be talking to y'all soon.
And with that, Roger Clemens will join the Yankees this season. They really could use his pitching help. Clemens' last pitch for the Astros, but his buddy Andy Pettitte rejoined New York in the offseason. It's possible Clemens will build up his arm strength in the minor leagues. Who knows, he may pitch for Scranton at Harbor Park later this year. Speaking of Harbor Park, a windy day for the Tides and the Knights, tied at 1 in the 6th inning. Mike Cervenek with a single up the middle. That scores 2 runs. Charlotte came back to tie it at 3, but Norfolk's Eider Torres had an RBI single in the 11th inning. The Tides win 4-3 over the Knights in 11 innings. That's 2 straight wins for them. Hampton's Sports Information Director Jamar Ross and graduate assistant Stacy Russell coached the school's softball team today. It was their first since head coach Tiny Laster passed away from kidney disease last week. They hosted Norfolk State. Now the players wearing patches on their uniforms that say Tiny. They didn't have any assistant coaches, so that's why Russell and Ross are coaching the Pirates. The two teams, Norfolk State and Hampton, split a doubleheader today, and Hampton will enter the MEAC tournament next weekend, seeded first, Norfolk State second. So big weekend for them coming up next week, and Tiger Woods wins the PGA Wachovia Championship in Charlotte.
What a shock. Tiger Woods wins a golf tournament.
9th and 14, or something like that.
My goodness. Thanks, Jason.
Okay, yep.
All right, the wind is still howling outside, and you're looking live from our Skycam 3 network there.
Meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch is going to update us on this windy forecast when we come back.
On your wedding day, when everyone is looking at her, she'll be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Men's Warehouse and you'll look almost as good as she does. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Now pick any combination of 5 Arby's favorites for $5.95 every day. Like the Arby's Melt, curly fries, and a Jamocha shake. An everyday deal so great, it'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Looking for an exciting and rewarding career? Join the HRT Driving Force, People Moving People. We currently have opportunities for full and part-time bus operators and seasonal trolley operators for the Peninsula and South Side. We're also seeking mechanics and maintenance personnel for our Norfolk and Hampton locations. We offer competitive salaries, a great benefits package, and paid training with potential for advancement. To apply for these and other opportunities, visit our HRT offices or log on to gohrt.com.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Come to Haynes Monday. Everyone gets a free $200 gift card. Stay while the prices are reduced as much as 65% store-wide. Leave with all new furniture, mattresses, and flooring, and you won't owe Haynes a thing for the next 2 years. Monday, last chance to get a free $200 gift card just for stopping by. Last chance to use it on top of every sale price in Virginia's biggest home furnishing store and pay nothing. No interest and no payments for the next 2 years. Monday only at Haynes.
Your News Channel 3 in the morning.
It's all about you.
With weather on the 3 and traffic on the 3.
Your 10-day forecast every 10 minutes on the 3s.
So you can be prepared for whatever the day's weather may bring.
Weather and traffic on the 3s. Only on your News Channel 3.
Lives need saving. Start with yours. Join the volunteer rescue squads of Virginia Beach.
On your wedding day, when everyone is looking at her, she'll be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Men's Warehouse and you'll look almost as good as she does. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Well, these winds will not settle down anytime soon. 36-mile-per-hour sustained winds right now in Moayac. And we can expect the same tomorrow, but they'll be a little less intense. A 41-mile-per-hour gust in Moayac. Here is your wind forecast for the next few days. By tomorrow, they're settling slightly at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tuesday, a little bit less, 15 to 20. Notice they're out of the east the whole time. Then finally on Wednesday, they settle down to normal ranges, but they're out of the southeast.
All right, thanks, Vanessa, and thank you. That's all for your News Channel 3.
60 Minutes is next.
Interactive News live with me
Tomorrow at 5.